when I hear a business owner tell me, Jovia, I need your advice. I think I should hire new team this year. There is a problem. The team doesn't perform. Let's do something. I need your advice. Kindly assess my performance and give me advice on this matter. Yeah, you're right, as a business owner. And all your assumptions, all your feelings are valid. But let's talk through this before we actually hire anybody, before we pay the cost of hiring and training and making them standard to the level we want them to perform. Let's think about it. Is the problem tactical or structure? Let's look at it. Why tactical fixes will not solve structural problems? Because a few business owners are willing to look into the structural arrangement of their business, the structural design, the workflows. They will usually look at the productivity, efficiency of the employee. So before you hire, let's know why even your hiring will not solve your problem. Changing is good because something will come with something new. But most of the times, if the problem is structure, however much you hire, you will not be helped. So just know, tactics, hiring can only treat a symptom. But structure arrangement, the structure itself, creates the problems. When you make people work long hours, when you try to add more equipment, when you try to hire more people, it may not help. Rather, let's first look at things like, how does workflow? Let's look at things like, how is capacity allocated? Maybe this one person you think doesn't work, he has been assigned a lot of heavy tasks. Maybe they may not look heavy, but they are very procedural, they take a lot of time. So when you look at how long the other people spend to do their work versus this one, you think this one is not efficient. But let's look at how is this capacity allocated. Also look at the incentives. How are the incentives designed? The incentive program. Because managers, we are known for making incentives better and more higher, or very, very valuable, beneficial at a higher level. Of course, where you get one, the manager will get four. Meaning, incentives might be concentrated at a higher level. Bigger people get bigger money. And the people who actually do the daily work, operational, they earn less. And in so doing, they are not motivated enough. So, before you think about fixing the tactical area, let's look at the structural area. Okay, repeating problems are usually structural. If you tell me you hired 4 people in the same position and the same problem still exists, that is not tactical. The problem is structural. Think about it. What keeps people frustrated? Why are they even frustrated? What is this thing that is constant? It requires constant attention. Look at things like what demands a lot of, time. Look at those things that appear temporal but very frustrating. And every business has that area where nobody wants to, participate. If it is a workshop, if it is production, there is that one stage where a few people want to work in that. Maybe it is a very heavy process. It takes a lot of time. So before you think you should hire, look at the structure. Hiring is one of the most common, by the way, tactical mistakes we make. Because getting someone new is not a problem. But knowing why the previous one failed is the key. Is the matter. Why? You'll first of all absorb inefficiency. Because when you bring someone new, it will take you some like 6 months to start really seeing their true impact. First 3 months, those are learning months, learning periods. Then 4th to 5th, they are taking control. 6th, that's when you can assess. All that period, you've absorbed the inefficiency that would be improved with the previous person. You also cover the poor workflows, ergonometrics of the place, the workflow of the place, everything. It does not really align. But because you're hiring new somebody, you're masking. You have all these unclear priorities that you're masking, these worker processes. Some of us are fond of making our work emergency all the time. All the time, everybody is working on panic mode. Everything is emergency, urgent. Do this urgently, do this urgently, do this urgently. All that you're doing, you're disorganizing someone's schedule for that day. Can we have clear priorities? So, also look at the tools. Look at the tools. Tools don't fix structures. If a structure is not built well, is not designed well, even if you get the best equipment, it will not work. For example, if your office is designed like a kitchen, by the fact that it is like a kitchen, even if you get the best computer, best network, best everything, the truth is structure. Another thing you should also think about here is trying to automate the existing processes. I've seen some business owners who make it hard to work with them, where they make all approvals on their shoulders. Delegation is very poor. Everything is on their shoulders. You have to seek for their approval on every step. They delay work, they delay assignments, and they blame everybody. I've seen someone, you're a traveling boss, you're always on the flight. There are times you cannot be accessed, You're on a flight, you're not accessible, but people are waiting for your approval for 2 business days. Then you come up and say, okay, why didn't you meet this target? Why don't we automate this system? So, look at also the pressure. Pressure creates output, but not sustainability. You can pressurize your team. You can make them feel real pressure because you want results. But guess what? It will give you output at that point, but not sustainability. You cannot always operate on pressure. You will have temporal results, seasonal results, but sustainability will not be there, because who wants to be burned out all the time? Who wants to be burned out? Like, you're burnt, you're trying to encourage use shortcuts, you're trying to hide the systematic flaws because you're trying to work under pressure. Who wants to do that? There is nobody talented and experienced who will work under that kind of environment. Structure also determines the quality of decision. Sometimes someone will take in the time and initiative to make the best decision simply because the structure allows it. But when the structure also doesn't support everything, you'll be like, okay, all right, whatsoever. So, decision bottlenecks at the top there are influenced by the structure. The accountability becomes a problem where the structure is broken or where the structure is not clear and strong enough. We usually look at these things of trade-offs. People will always avoid those trade-offs. Why? The structure itself is a very big hideout. Everything feels urgent, as if there is no proper planning. So, when the structure is invisible, of course, all this is going to happen until it breaks, by the way. All these fixes, this hiring fire, these kind of challenges will always happen until this structure breaks down. So you have to just do a redesign. I usually ask you, before you fire that person, okay, they might have not performed, they might have personal problems, and I'm not an advocate for whoever who underperforms or everything, but most of the times that decision is not done based on the truth. It is done based on emotions, sometimes previous inefficiencies of other people. Someone has been in the same capacity and they have not been performing. You get a new person, and because the previous one didn't perform, you're likely to just also make a decision like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. But we do a lot of cleanups for people who have been there in the system and they have not done the right things. I have to first put things right. So when are you assessing my performance, and what is your ground? What time are you starting? When do you start to assess me effectively? If I'm going to do a cleanup, are you considering the time or the fact that I'm cleaning after somebody before I make things work? Joviana Kaima, CPA, Jovima